All right, let's dive right into the heart of the AI revolution, and that means we have to talk about Nvidia's latest earnings report. Honestly, in the tech world right now, this isn't just another financial update. It has become the event that pretty much sets the tone for the entire market. So let's see what all the fuss is about.
And this quote from Agri Capital, it just nails it. All the talk about recessions, geopolitics, elections, it all just kind of melts away. The entire financial world literally holds its breath for one thing. Did Nvidia beat expectations? It really has become, like the source says, a group ritual. So the big question is, did they?
Okay, so let's get into it. First up, the numbers of power. This is where we see exactly how Nvidia is forging its kingdom. And trust me, the scale of what's happening here is, well, it's staggering. $78 billion. And let me be perfectly clear, that's not what they made last quarter. That's their forecast for the next 3 months. This single number didn't just beat Wall Street's already crazy high estimates, it absolutely shattered them. But here's the thing that's really blowing people's minds. It's not just about the raw growth, it's the acceleration. Look at this. In the last quarter, revenue shot up an insane 73% compared to the year before. The company isn't just getting bigger, it's growing faster and faster. So, what's the rocket fuel here? It's this. Their data center business, the part of the company selling the absolute beast mode chips for AI, now makes up over 90% of their total sales. This is a huge deal. It signals a complete transformation. Nvidia is no longer a gaming company that dabbles in AI. It is a pure-play AI infrastructure giant, period.
And all that growth? Well, it's just printing an insane amount of cash. We're talking $35 billion in free cash flow in just the last quarter. That's the money they have left over after paying for everything, and it's proof of their incredible pricing power. They basically get to name their price for the one thing everyone desperately needs.
So, all this crazy demand, where does it lead? Well, it kicks off the next chapter in our story, the great AI arms race. You've got all these major factions in the tech world scrambling for power, and they all need Nvidia's hardware to even have a chance.
Yep, every single tech giant, think Amazon, Meta, Google, the whole crew, is pouring astronomical sums of money into building out their AI capabilities. And this massive spending spree creates a tidal wave of demand that flows directly to one place, Nvidia. Just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, look at this chart. These are the projected AI spending plans for 2026 from just 3 of Nvidia's biggest customers. You add that up, and you're looking at about $500 billion, all of it aimed at winning the AI crown.
But here's where it gets really interesting. There's this fascinating tension playing out. On one hand, these hyperscalers are Nvidia's biggest customers, they're allies. But at the same exact time, companies like Amazon and Google are busy trying to develop their own custom chips. It creates this really complex dynamic where your biggest friend today could easily become your biggest rival tomorrow.
Okay, so this digital gold rush has a very real, very physical dark side. There's a shadow growing, and it's stretching right across our power grids. We have to talk about the hidden price of all this computational power. Because AI data centers are so power-hungry, you're seeing proposals like this ratepayer protection pledge pop up. Now, the idea sounds simple enough, right? Make the tech companies pay for their own power infrastructure so regular folks like you and me don't get stuck with higher electricity bills. But critics, like the AGI Roundtable, are waving a huge red flag here. Here's how they see it playing out in 2 pretty scary steps. First, you get the privatization of reliability. That's where the tech giants build their own private, super reliable power grids, basically calling dibs on the best energy sources. Which leads to step 2, the socialization of decay. The rest of us, we get left with the old, aging, more expensive public grid, and we have to pay for all the upgrades needed to support the tech companies' private systems.
The AGI Roundtable's satirical analyst, Robo John Oliver, puts it, well, pretty bluntly. They argue this isn't about protecting consumers at all. It's about building a publicly funded VIP fast lane for the richest companies on the planet. It's a really stark warning about who might end up footing the bill for this AI revolution.
So you've got these unbelievable numbers on one side, and these massive real-world challenges on the other. What on earth does the future hold? Well, that brings us to our final section, the Council of Doubt, where we dig into the market's cautious reaction and the risks ahead. Now, this is the part that's truly fascinating.
After Nvidia reported some of the most mind-blowing growth numbers in corporate history, what did the stock do? It barely moved. Sources said investors were left wanting more. I mean, can you believe that? It just shows you how much skepticism is baked into this whole story. So what's going on?
This all leads to the one question on every single investor's mind. Are we just looking at a giant, unsustainable bubble? I mean, the stock chart looks like a rocket ship, but the numbers underneath tell a much more complicated story.
So let's look at the forward PE ratio. It's basically a way of measuring a stock's price against its expected future earnings. And here is the absolutely shocking part. Even as Nvidia's stock price has gone to the moon, its earnings have gone up even faster. The result? The stock is actually cheaper on this metric than its own 5-year average. It kind of throws that simple bubble argument right out the window.
So, if it's not a valuation bubble, what has everyone so spooked? Well, it's this wall of worries right here. There's the fear of a slowdown. What happens when this first big AI build-out is done? There's competition, even from their own customers. There's huge geopolitical risk around Taiwan and its chip-making giant, TSMC. And then there's that physical wall we just talked about. Can our planet's energy grid actually support this kind of growth?
So, there you have it. It feels like Nvidia has truly forged the One Ring of AI, the foundational technology that grants unbelievable power. The debate isn't really about if this power is real anymore. The real question, for the market and for all of us is, as this power gets used all over the world, who is ultimately going to pay the price?